An exciting day here on Greeno Eats today, folks. I'm in Berkshire. I've come to the little village of Bray, which is a foodie's paradise. There's not one, but three Michelin starred restaurants here. The Greeno Eats budget is not stretching quite that far today though, but we are going to go to a Michelin starred place. And it's owned by Heston Blumenthal. That's right, behind me here you can see the Hinds Head. This is a pub with a load of history. Been a pub on the site here since the 15th century. Prince Philip had his stag do here. Interesting. I bet that was a wild old night out. Thought he was Greek, he could have gone to Falaraki or something. But no, he came here. Now this place was bought by Heston in 2004, I believe. So he had it just over 20 years. 2013, it gained a Michelin star. Now this isn't the sort of molecular gastronomy kind of place, like the Fat Duck just round the corner. This is good old pub grub, but up a notch or two. And the pricing kind of reflects that too. So I'm going to get inside and find out what it's all about. I want to get myself a couple of British pub classics. I'm not going to go for fish and chips. I've seen fish and chips here a few times. Looks pretty good. I'm going to try something different. What will I get? Something yummy, I hope, because it's going to cost a bob or two. Come on, let's get inside and find out what it's all about, shall we? So folks, I have come in and been seated, and what a beautiful old pub this is. Beams everywhere, low ceilings, places that even someone who's only 5'10" like myself has to duck. Of course, when these buildings were built, people were a little bit shorter, weren't they? So if you're a rugby player or something, or a basketball player, this might not be the place for you to come unless you're happy to sort of sit like that all day long. The menu is sort of pub classics, like I said before. You got things like prawn cocktails and soups and all that kind of stuff on the starter menus. Mains, you got fish and chips, you got fish, pork belly, that kind of thing. Bunch of different sides. There's steaks too. They may have seen me coming because I asked when I sat down if I wanted to get some bread to sort of start the meal. And then there's a beef dripping sauce. And I was like, yeah, that sounds fine. Just looked at the menu. That's about 11 quid already. Read things before you commit to them, Greeno. So I've got 2 slices of bread, some butter, and a little pan of what looks like some gravy just been put down in front of me. So we'll have a little look at that in a second. Yeah, really interesting kind of menu, really interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they elevate some of these sort of classics up to a sort of, you know, a higher level. So I'm probably going to go for a sort of snacky kind of thing as a starter because I've got the bread here already, and then we'll get into a nice main. I'm torn between two. There's a chicken ham and leek pie, which sounds really, really rather good. And there's a shepherd's pie as well. It's a pie kind of day, isn't it? It is a pie kind of day. Which will it be? Wait and see. So it's time for me to try this bread. I'm going to bring it over here so you can kind of see it on camera. Make a little bit of space there. And we've got the butter on a lovely little slate here. Even embossed with the Hinds Head kind of logo. Linen napkins, that's what one would expect in a place of a certain standard. I'm not sure about the colour of this wall, mind. I need to have a word with them. Should be green, shouldn't it? So, let's grab a little bit of this over onto the plate. Oh, fabulous. Look at that. Thank you so much. Got myself a pint. Comes in a cool little tankard thing as well. This is a local IPA, only 3.4%. But if you're having lunch in a proper English pub, you've got to have a proper English beer, haven't you? Really rather nice. Okay, let's try this bread then. So this is described as a meadow blend sourdough with cultured butter. So that should be a little bit more flavourful. Touch fermented. Yeah. Oh, that's really rather good bread. The crust isn't so hard that it makes it sort of scratch the roof of your mouth, like some sourdoughs do. We've got a lovely chew to it. And as you can see here, it's kind of like a proper rustic brown kind of sourdough, not a white one. Alongside that here, we have the beef dripping sauce, which I'm just going to dip the bread into. I mean, beef dripping sauce, that says gravy to me. Let's try it. Let's try it. Very, very rich. Deep. There's a herbal quality to it as well. Almost tastes sort of tarragon or something in there. And very kind of deep and umami all round. That's really good. Now, I'm not going to eat all of this now because I have ordered to go with this some merguez sausages. They're on a little sort of snack menu. I've gone for that rather than a starter because I've got the bread here as well. Like a little sausage sandwich, couldn't I? That'd be rather good. But I do love a merguez sausage. Hopefully it's nice sort of lamb, maybe some beef in there too. There's kind of Moroccan spices in there. That sounds really good. And then, for the main course, I couldn't decide between the chicken ham and leek pie or the shepherd's pie. I've gone for shepherd's pie. Lamb mince and a really rich lamb sauce, topped with potatoes. There's lamb sweetbreads there. Apparently there's crispy little bits of sort of the ends of chips or something on there as well. You can see they've tried to lift that up from what is a relatively humble dish, although anything with lamb in isn't humble these days, is it? And give it something a bit special, zhuzh it up a bit. So that sounds brilliant to me. I've not gone with any veg alongside that. I just want the pie. And we're going to see if there's any room left for pudding at the end, because I know they got a pudding I really want to try. Right, folks, so the merguez sausages have arrived. Looking rather splendid. Not sure what this little dipping sauce that goes with them is. It doesn't mention on the menu. We will find out shortly. I've also been brought out some devils on horseback, which are little prunes wrapped in pancetta. Now, I didn't order them, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be charged for them or not. I don't know whether everyone else is going to get them for free or not. I will keep an eye, but whatever happens, I'll try them, but they won't be classed in the sort of scoring system at the end. Let's tuck into these merguez. So this place is really starting to busy up now. A couple of larger parties have come in, families and whatever. So obviously a very, very popular place. I come in right at the opening time because I was hoping it was going to be quiet. And it was when I got here. Now it's busying up. Good for them though, surely. So I'm going to look at these devils on horseback then. So we have this prune wrapped in pancetta. I'm expecting a really nice, rich, deep flavour. Maybe some Armagnac or something there as well. That is really, really rather tasty. You've got the mix of the sweetness of that prune, the saltiness of the bacon, the pancetta. And it's quite a rich sweetness as well, isn't it? That is absolutely knockout. Like I say, I won't be counting that in my scoring. I'm just telling you how it is in case you come here and you decide to try it. On to the sausages. Merguez sausage. God, that's got a really great smell to it. Oh, yeah. Rich, deep, intense. And that spicing in there is perfect. You've got a nice little chili background in there. Those other sort of Moroccan flavours. Oh, that is rather good. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out what this sauce is without using the sausage. So, grab a tiny little bit of this bread. Dip, dip, dip. It kind of looks like a mayonnaise, but it's a mustard. But it's got quite a sharpness to it. Not as much as an English mustard. It's almost sort of Dijon, I would say, but creamier. It's rather nice. Let's pop that with the sausage and see how we go. You'll be unsurprised to learn that really works. I mean, sausage and mustard. What a combination, right? But because the spicing of this isn't aggressive in any way, it marries quite well with the mustard. If those Moroccan flavours had been more prominent, you might have got a bit of a clash. There's almost a sweetness in the sausage, as well as all that savoury element. The mustard kind of cuts through that a touch. That's really rather good. Anyway, on to the beer. Beautiful colour to it. This is, like I say, a local one from Marlow Brewery. And hopefully a little bit cheaper than I paid for a bottle of Marlow Brewery beer in Tom Kerridge's fish and chips place in Harrod, because that was $9.50 a bottle. This is $6.50 for a pint. It's very, very nice too. I almost thought about taking half a point off of my final score here, because I heard them say that the guest ale is Doombar. Come on, you can be more creative than that, can't you? Jeez. So many good beers around. And you pick Doombar to be your guest ale. That's not great. It's not great. Come on, up your game a little bit on the ale front. Pick something more interesting. There's a really good atmosphere in this place now. People are really enjoying themselves. Even though it's lunchtime, there's a few glasses of wine doing the rounds and whatever. Yeah, it's just a nice vibe. Really nice vibe. Here, folks. Here is a £32 shepherd's pie. This has got to be the most expensive shepherd's pie in the country, isn't it? In the world. On the top here, we have some lamb sweetbreads, 3 pieces of that. I can see the little crispy bits of sort of chip ends. So I'm guessing they're just like, literally just chopping the ends off potatoes. When they're doing the fish and chips here, of course, they're going to trim everything, aren't they, to make everything uniform? That's how Michelin places do their chips. So it's a clever way, really, of using up those little end bits of potatoes. Just dice them up into tiny little pieces, chuck them in the fryer, and you get crispy little bits of potato. Let's try the sweetbread first. I'll tell you what, I'm going to use this little plate here that's got the bread on it still. In fact, they're both the same size. I was wondering whether one was a butter knife and one was a real knife, but they're both the same. So, bring that off of there. Let's cut this open. Should be lovely and creamy inside. Oh, yeah. Have a look at that. Delicate smell to it. A little crisp to that coating, but not too much. That sweetbread is creamy. Again, delicately flavoured. Oh, yeah. There's a little bit of herb in that coating as well, which just adds to the whole thing. Oh, that's a treat. That really is a treat. What better way to spend a sort of an autumn winter's day than in a oldie worldy pub with a pint of room temperature beer and a shepherd's pie. We're just going to delve straight down into this and see what we get. So here we go. Look at how luscious and rich that lamb looks under there. A few little peas in there, got a little pops of sweetness. A mashed potato, a nice layer of that, and then that crispy topping as well. So as always, when you come into sort of a Michelin kind of level place, you're not just going to get the norm, are you? Everything has a little bit more thought, a little bit more effort put into the presentation, the execution. Goodness me, that's intense. That lamb in the lamb sauce underneath is wonderful. It's just lamb mince as far as I can work out. There's no chunks of lamb. Sometimes people will use like lamb shoulder or even a lamb shank. But I've not come across any sort of lumps of lamb. There's mince. And very finely diced vegetables in there. You've got carrot, you've got onion, you've got the peas, of course. They're all adding a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of texture to that unctuous sauce, gravy, whatever you want to call it. The mash. Let's try some of that with the crispy little chips on. Very smooth. What I like about it is they haven't tried to be too chefy with the mash. Because what happens when you do that, you start adding too much butter or too much cream in, it's just too liquid to work in this kind of context. You need a mash that's robust enough to kind of sit on the top of that sauce, not to melt down into it. I mean, I've had some shepherd's pies in my time. I make a shepherd's pie. None have ever been as intensely flavoured as this. I think I've only had one other shepherd's pie on the channel. That was at Gordon Ramsay's place in Atlantic City. And you know what? I didn't mind it. It was a little bit soupy. Had good chunks of lamb in there, good kind of minty lamb gravy flavour. Is a whole different ballgame to that. Let me tell you, this is perfect food for a day like today, where it's cold, it's raining on and off, the wind is getting up. Yeah, come on. And here we go. This is the Bakewell tart. That comes with the yoghurt, ice cream and some nibbed almonds. £16 for a little slice of Bakewell tart. This had better be blooming good. I tell you what, it is pretty as a picture though, isn't it? Beautiful little quenelle of the ice cream here. The almonds on the plate there. Oh, it looks great. This might just push me over the edge. It's a lovely little crisp to the bottom of the pastry there. Let's bring that in closer for you to take a little look. If we can, there we go. You see how thin and delicate that pastry is? That is not Mr. Kipling, let me tell you. The sort of frangipan sponge element is beautifully soft. The jam inside is incredibly sweet, just as it should be. That pastry is thin and delicate. Not crunchy or crispy. Just perfect. I really like a Bakewell tart. If I'm in the mood for something very, very sweet, that would be one of my go-to things. Let's try this ice cream. You've got some nuts here with it too. Beautifully, almost sour taste from the yoghurt. But creamy. So it's not like a frozen yoghurt, it is an ice cream. That is good. And then we got these little bits of nut and whatever underneath. They're kind of crispy. Almost like tiny little shards of sugared almond. They just had a beautiful little texture and get a bit of sweetness that matches with that sourness. That is a great way for me to end my meal. So I've come around into the bar area to do my kind of summing up. Because it's raining outside and I don't want to be outside in the rain doing that. I'm going to keep it fairly short and sweet though. You've seen me enjoying what I've been eating there, haven't you? Really, really good food. I've got the bill here, paid the bill. I had the bread and the beef sauce dip on there. That was £11. Kind of got caught out with that one. It was tasty enough, but didn't end up eating it all or whatever, so there we go. The merguez sausages, they were £6. The shepherd's pie, 32. The pint I had, £6.50. And the Bakewell tart, £16. So the devils on horseback were not charged. I did see a couple of other tables getting bits and bobs that they hadn't necessarily ordered as well, so not just me. Total there was £71.50. There's a service charge of 12.5% on the top. That's £8.94. Absolutely no issue with that. Great service. Right from the moment I got in, all the way through the meal. 3 or 4 different people coming and serving me at different times, and all perfectly professional. Very, very knowledgeable about what they're doing. So overall, I've paid £80 and 44 pence. £80.44. You know what? It is a pricey lunch, isn't it? It is a pricey lunch, but it is a 1 Michelin star place. So you've got to take stuff like that into account. Have I eaten very well? Yeah. I've had 3 really good courses and a beer. So I think it's not an unfair price. The only one thing that I think I would possibly change, and I mentioned this to the staff when they were clearing after the main, I think the lamb sweetbreads were a touch unnecessary on that shepherd's pie. Very nice though they were, unless you took them off and ate them separately, it just seemed like a bit of a kind of like an unnecessary kind of chefy touch. Something that kind of trying to justify the price of that shepherd's pie being £32. I suggested something like, if you had like a lamb rib or something on the top there, something that you could sort of pick up and just gnaw at and whatever. Something, again, visually kind of different, impressive, and, just a little touch, but something that would marry in a little bit more with the pie. For me, that would make it absolutely perfect. Oh, I gotta come up with a score. So taking that tiny little thing into account, and possibly, I think maybe the dessert's a touch expensive for what it was. That's £16. If it had been sort of 12, 13, 14, I think that would have been fairer. It's a good 4.7 out of 5, isn't it? Good 4.7. Still want to know down below if you think I should come back here before Christmas and try that Christmas lunch. I'll be really interested to see what they do with it here. I don't think it's going to be anything sort of whistles and bells like you'd get over the road at the Fat Duck. I think it would just be a really well done Christmas lunch, don't you? Sort of like a pub classic, maybe a couple of little twists, but nothing weird and wonderful. You're not going to get like, an essence of pine cones sprayed around the room or anything like that. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you think I should come back and do that. Right, where are you going to find me next? Well, I'm going to be making a run for it, or a waddle for it after that lunch, to be honest. Back to the car and heading back down to Dorset now. But I shall be out on my travels again before too long. You'll have to find out where on the next video, though. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, click a thumbs up, ding your bell for notifications and subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Take a little look around the vault. Well over 350 videos in there now, so there's bound to be something else you enjoy. And I will catch you next time, folks. Bye for now.